1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 4.
Hello, I am BeBetterGamer. Welcome to BeBetterGamer Wrestling. This channel is dedicated to my love and passion of wrestling video games. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you on clicking on it. I am playing WWF No Mercy, and I am bringing you another WWF No Mercy CAW. It's actually a follow-up to my latest Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 CAW, both games part of the legendary Aki series of wrestling games on the N64, my favorite series of wrestling games, and I am bringing you the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. As I record this, still our WWE champion. I hope he goes into WrestleMania as champion and maybe even walks out as champion, because he is the phenomenal one. He is the champ who runs that camp, and he also liked my Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 CAW on Twitter, and that was crazy. So I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but let's get into this CAW. The parameters, profile, moves, all that stuff is typed up, ready to go in the description below. I have a link to a Google Docs spreadsheet. Check that out if you want the full CAW. But I'm going to go over the appearance right now. So body, I chose skinny 1, gave him the 4th skin tone. Head, male 2. And then face, I'm going to go a little bit controversial. I went with male 40. I saw a lot of WWF calls use a different face. Hair, I also went a little bit controversial. I went middle 4. Front hair 54 to give him that part. And then hair black. A lot of people, when they do AJ Styles and No Mercy, they give him the short hair. I like to give him the little bit longer hair because it falls over his ears. But again, you can do it however you want. The same thing with the pants. Ring attire, original 2, black and white. You know, sort of his Bullet Club colors, if you will. But you know, it's still the club colors in WWE. And again, original 2 tights, original 1 for the tattoo, for the chest hair. It's funny that they made that a tattoo. Dirt bike for the gloves, and white to give it the white little, like, you know how he has the phenomenal one logo on his gloves. Usually his gloves are black and white, or whatever color he alternates, but you can't do that at No Mercy. Gave him the kick pads, gave him the knee pads and the elbow pad, just like in Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. Same exact thing. Entrance attire, Austin vest. I believe it's Stan Hansen's vest in Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. But there you go. AJ Styles and WWF No Mercy. Pretty similar to Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, except with the change of tights. And I use different tights in Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, even though they do have the original 2 tights. Here is just basically the black and blue version of his outfit. And again, with the tights, you can do a lot of different tights, honestly, for him, and they all kind of work. You can do the D-Lo tights, you can do the Christian tights. One of Jericho's tights works really well. There's a lot of different tights. Even the Undertaker tights kind of look good. You know, the Ministry Undertaker tights. This is his WrestleMania sort of outfit, his red and white. I mentioned in Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, when I did the video, I was like, did he ever have a red and white outfit? He did. He had a few, and most notably when he fought Chris Jericho at WrestleMania Dream Match a couple of years back, that I think a lot of people forgot about. I loved that match. And I changed his gloves in this one. I gave him the APA gloves. Knee pads you keep black. And yeah, I think it's a pretty cool looking outfit, actually. Almost skipped over to the other side. If you notice, everything's default. I lost my WWF No Mercy data on my cartridge a couple of weeks ago. I did a video about it. So this is actually off of my EverDrive. I'm using a WWF No Mercy 64 ROM to prevent losing my data again, because I'm not going to start all over on the cartridge. I had this CAW almost completely done. I just didn't type out the moves. And then my cartridge data wiped on me. So check out that video. You know, I talk about it, but had to make it all over again. Good thing I wrote down what I did for his appearance, because I would have forgot. And there you go. So once again, check the description below. You can get the full CAW typed out. Let me know what you think. As always, when I do these calls, I like to follow up with a match, and I'm gonna do that, but I also wanted to do something different. I wanted to share some stuff that my followers had sent me, you know, throughout the time of the channel. And I told them, hey, I'm gonna show this when I do my AJ Styles call, because I think it's cool, and I think it shows the variety that different people too. So this was from Jackson Payne. He's a subscriber here on this channel. Give him a shout out. That's his YouTube handle. He went with the short hair version of AJ Styles. He gave different kind of kick pads. He gave him wrist pads. So again, slight differences. This is the way he did it. I think he also made him bulkier. Gave him a little bit of a bulkier body, which is cool, which is fine. You know, however you see him is how you make him. Different face for both creations. This is his NWA TNA outfit, his earlier Impact Wrestling outfit, which I thought was neat that he did. I didn't do that, but I guess I should, right? And then this one I thought was really cool. I found Jay Barnacles on Twitter, and I think we follow each other on Twitter, and he checks out my channel. But see what he did with the Taz hood? He made it as the entrance attire, the Taz hood, and the vest, the upper body. And he also went with the X-Pac kick pads. A lot of people went with the X-Pac kick pads, actually, when I was doing research. But yeah, I thought that was cool, the little Taz hoodie. The only reason why I didn't do it is because you would have to keep the vest as the upper body attire. And, you know, he doesn't wrestle with a vest. But I still think it's a cool look. I think it's a cool look that really is a creative way to use the WWF No Mercy CAW system. And it's good for picture, you know what I mean? Jay Barnacles has a lot of great calls on Twitter. So check out his Twitter handle. He did a whole thread, I think just a couple of weeks ago, of all these different No Mercy calls he's been working on. He was playing off of his Android phone, if you saw on the screenshot. And, you know, Jackson Payne, he sent me an email with all these different calls he did, so I might shout out a few of his other calls. I wanted to do that. I wanted to show it because I always talk about when I make these calls, you know, the way I make them doesn't mean you should make them that way. You know what I mean? It's just my interpretation. It's how I view the wrestlers when I watch them on screen, and how I want to translate them in the cartridge, in the game, I should say. And it's just my own interpretation. I always love seeing what people do. You know, they take my calls, they change little things to how it suits them personally. Maybe it's the appearance, maybe it's the moves. And there's no right or wrong way to do these calls. It's your own inspiration, your own interpretation. So that's what's great about the CAW community in not only this game but every other game. I'm doing a match with Chris Jericho because, like I said, Chris Jericho, AJ Styles dream match a couple of years ago. I just did a Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 call with Chris Jericho, talking about the dream match that was Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. Yeah, like I said, I tweeted out my Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 call of AJ Styles because I know this is AJ Styles' favorite wrestling video game. To this day, actually, I believe it still is. And sure enough, he retweeted it and he replied to it, which was great. It's always great when someone replies and not just likes or, you know, retweets it. And he said he liked the call. He wouldn't change a thing. And he called out the fact that I was referencing in my Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 call this video he did back in the day where he showed off his game room. And he showed the Dreamcast, and I thought it was just a Dreamcast with a screen on it, and the Dreamcast is maybe the name of the screen or the bag he had. But the Dreamcast is actually a Chinese knockoff of the Dreamcast that plays both Japanese and North American games. You don't need a boot disc for it. It comes with a screen. You can plug Dreamcast controllers into it. It's pretty cool, actually. I had never heard of it. So that was pretty cool. You know, AJ Styles, you know, someone who probably still has his Dreamcast with him that he used to carry with him on the road. Very fun video. Check that out. And, you know, check out my Twitter at BeBetterGamer. You can see the comment that AJ Styles left. That was pretty cool. You know, now my bucket list is to maybe one day sit down and play Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 with AJ Styles. You never know. This might happen. You guys keep liking and commenting on my videos, subscribing on my videos. Who knows? I might be the next up, up, down, down. You know, and I actually did play video games with Xavier Woods one time. I did play WrestleMania 2000 with him. So that's another story I gotta tell. But yeah, so that was cool, and you know, hopefully he likes this one. I don't know what his thoughts are on No Mercy, actually. I know he always praises Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, but you're always in, like, you know, one of the other camp. You love Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 more, or you love No Mercy more. I love Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 more, but that's not to say I don't love No Mercy. I think it's great. So here I'm doing what they call in the game the Hangman's DDT, which is really the Gonzo bomb that Toshiaki Kawada did. And then I was going to go up. I was doing my 450 splash. I ended up doing the moonsault because I forgot that when they're losing it, the game recognizes them as standing up, and I gave AJ Styles a moonsault as his front special for for his turnbuckle special. Boom, Pele kick, sort of. it's the counter. But in Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, so I gave him the front face. What do they call it? Front faced pancake. I forgot what they call it, but it's basically like the closest you can come to the Styles Clash. And I gave him as his super special, his second special, because in Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 they had it. I gave him the Gonzo Bomb because AJ Styles, when he went to Japan and he was doing the Styles Clash, he also started doing right after that. Here we go, the front face pancake, the closest you can get to the Styles Clash in No Mercy. Obviously they didn't have it in the game, but I gave him the Gonzo Bomb because he also did the hollow point, which is very similar to the Gonzo Bomb. And so I figured I'd just make that his front special here in No Mercy. And what else did I change? I changed a few other moves you might have seen. I gave him the frog splash instead of the twisting senton. I did give him a discus clothesline. I forgot to give him that. He used to do that back in the day. As his reverse special, I didn't do it here, but his reverse special, I gave him the inverted reverse DDT because they didn't have it in Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. And he does that wicked awesome styling DDT, so I guess that's the closest you can come to it. But yeah, that's my AJ Styles call. Few subtle differences from Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, but pretty much the same no matter where he goes. Japan, New Japan, WWE, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling. He's always going to be the phenomenal one. He's always going to be one of the best wrestlers in the world, one of my favorite wrestlers. So have to make him in both games, Can't just make him in one. I hope he has a great WrestleMania and Royal Rumble. I'm very excited. So yeah, there you go. There's my AJ Styles call. Let me know what you think in the comments below. You've been on YouTube before. You know what to do. Check out the description for the full call. Hey, tweet this at AJ Styles. Maybe he'll like it again. Maybe he'll comment it again. Maybe he'll give us his opinion. Which one is better, Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 or WWF No Mercy? We can settle the score, based on what AJ Styles believes. But again, all these games are great. All you guys are great. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep commenting, and subscribing. And send me your calls. Send me your WWF No Mercy calls, your Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 calls, and maybe I'll give a shout out in my later videos. So that's all today I have for you. Thanks for watching. As always, I'm BeBetterGamer, and until next time, keep watching all the wrestling. Thank you.